Peace, family. Wait for you guys to come in. Daisha Black. You are the first one in here. Peace. Barbie is in here. Peace, peace. Peace, family. We are getting ready to talk about a few things. Yes, peace, family. Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's. I know Brother Yosef haven't been on here since the New Year's. I don't think I have, at least. I want to say Happy New Year's to everybody. This is going to be a great year, 2023. Okay. So, I think it's going to be a great year for everybody. Peace to any new people that are coming in for the first time to watch the live stream. Peace. We will be doing some lectures this year, family. Right? I've been talking to some people. I've gotten this word that we're going to be doing some lectures this year. So for my people who are in the East Coast, I will be doing another lecture in South Carolina. Can't give you guys the exact date yet, but it's happening. We're planning it as we speak. So that's going to be up in South Carolina, right? If you want to meet Brother Yosef in person, you can come to this lecture in South Carolina. The first one we did there, I think it held about 100 people. We did really, really, it was a really good event. And I didn't even drop no metaphysical information. It was a straight indigenous lecture. All right. But this lecture will be straight metaphysics, right? We're gonna get into spirituality. And then me and Brother Dreamwise got something coming up as well in the middle of the year. So we're gonna give you guys some updates on that as well very soon. More information coming on that very soon. So if you guys are looking to come to the first lecture to meet Brother Yosef, some of you guys have already met me in person. It's always a pleasure meeting you guys for the first time. But yeah, some people are still looking to do that. So we're gonna set up something on the East Coast. So most likely the lecture that we're gonna do with Dreamwise is gonna be here in Houston. All right. So just to give you guys some feedback on that, some information on that. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Peace to everybody coming in. Somebody said, "What's the meaning of the panda shirt?" I love animals, man. That's something I don't talk about a lot. I need to do more animal videos. My brother Makai Akondo, he does. He has a YouTube channel called Shaman Makai. He does a lot of stuff on animals. He's more into the nature than I am, but I love animals, right? That's kind of an energy I tap into. So I like to wear different animal shirts. It's something I started doing, right? Something I started doing. The first person I really started doing it was, shout out to the brother, God bless his soul. May he rest in peace, Brother Azazel. Right? He passed away a couple months ago. Azazel Bay, shout out to him. He definitely inspired the shirts. You know what I mean? He was one of the first persons to do it. But as I started tapping more into my dreams and I would see different animals and stuff like that in my dreams all the time, I said, okay, let me start wearing some of these shirts to tap into these energies. Right. So that's the whole idea of the panda shirt. You know what I mean? And plus, when I wear this shirt for some reason, I don't know what it is with this shirt. It gets everybody attention. Everybody always say, man, that's a nice shirt, man. Somebody said audio is good. All right, we're going to get into it, Okay, so family, there's a lot going on. It's 2023. Okay, so I want to give you guys a perspective about what's happening in the heavens. I'm going to open up. Where's my boy Carlos? Where's Carlos at? He hasn't come in the chat yet. He's always asking to give me some updates on extraterrestrial information. I'm going to do that. Right? I'm going to give you guys an update on a dream. It wasn't even a dream. It was an experience I had 4 nights ago. Okay. Dealing with Mars. Okay. And I'm going to give you guys some information on how Mars plays into this whole shift that we're going through. Okay. how Mars plays into this whole shift we're going through. All right. This is real information. Take it how you want. You know what I'm saying? So this is yes, Mars dominant Virgo here. Okay, no doubt, family. So as you guys know, family, Mars is it's a warrior planet, right? It deals with a lot of warrior energy, right? So I want to say this first. I don't want you guys to think of Mars when I talk about Mars as Mars is somewhere in space. On a third dimension, Mars doesn't exist. We can only see it. We can see a glimpse of what Mars looks like. But there's a dome, family. We live inside of a dome. So there is no such thing as Mars down here. We can only see an image of what it looks like. There's no rovers that went to Mars. Now, we've been to the moon because the moon and the sun is inside the dome. That's a fact, right? But they haven't been to Mars, family. That's not true. So as we shift into the fourth dimension, as the frequency gets right, we'll be able to go to Mars in the future. But as of right now, there's a quarantine. There's a dome around the planet. Ain't nobody leaving. It ain't nobody leaving, family. Okay. So when I talk about Mars, family, you must understand I'm talking about something that exists in a whole nother dimension. Mars, Saturn, Jupiter, Uranus, Pluto, Neptune, right? Mercury, they all exist in another dimension, another domain. And that domain is the fourth dimension, right? The beings that live there are many, right? So they have to literally be and do interdimensional traveling to get to Earth. I want to make that clear. These beings aren't really coming from outer space, family. They're coming from a whole nother dimension, just like the Anunnaki. So the Anunnaki came from a whole nother dimension and a timeline to get here just to create us. All right, I'm going somewhere. Just stick with me for a second. So a lot of ships you guys see that are in space that are very active right now, a lot of them ships, to be honest with you, they're coming from the inner Earth. Because we do have terrestrials, inner terrestrials. So you have extraterrestrials outside of the dome. You have terrestrials, which is us. We live on Earth, so we're terrestrials. Then you have something called inner terrestrials. Inner terrestrials, they live inside the planet because the vibration is different. The vibration is more closer to the fourth dimension, so they can survive down there. They have their own sun. Now, even though I am a believer of the Earth being flat, but on the bottom of the Earth, it's open. It's like a curved, almost like a popsicle stick with the cone. Look at the Earth like that. Okay, so yes, you can go inside the Earth and actually have people that live down there and everything. And remember, the vibration is totally different. Okay, that's what it is. So, and peace and blessings to everybody coming in, family. Peace and blessings. We talking about Mars. So I want to make that very clear as we move forward and we start talking about this information. So you got an idea of what I'm talking about and how this stuff is possible. Okay. This is why they're talking more and more and more about space travel and also defenses, right? Space Force. They're talking about creating defenses, which they're doing in secret. They are creating ships, naval ships in the sky to defend us, because what they want to do as the extraterrestrials that are actually coming to help us appear, they want to make it look like an attack. That's what they want to do because they're being told to do this stuff, right? They're being told to do this stuff. So you got to understand, fame, when it comes to like your presidents, your Congress people, they really don't know who really are the dark forces that control us. They don't know. These people are puppets. If you can see these people with your eyes, that's a puppet, family, right? I'm just giving it all to y'all today, right? So that's a puppet. You got to be careful. So you can't really blame Donald Trump. You can't really blame Barack Obama. You can't blame George Bush. These people don't know. They're puppets. You can't blame the Congress people. They don't know. These are puppets who don't really know how deep it goes. They know secrets now. Don't get it wrong. They know they have secrets that they talk about, but they only know so the clearance level is only so high. I think the president has what, level 6 clearance. So the clearance level is only so high, family. So you got to understand these people don't know who really are the elite. Some people in this world do, but you don't know. You don't see these people's faces. You don't see these people's faces. So they show up at little presidential events. They may be at, meetings and stuff, but nobody knows. It's only a handful of people that really know, okay, he's one of the bosses. Okay, so they pass word down through this individual to the presidents and everything else like that. So, and that's how they stay secret. Okay. So I want to give you guys that idea that these people don't really know. So yes, they have no problem with thinking extraterrestrials are dangerous because we've all been programmed that way. And don't get me wrong, there are some dangerous ones. But a lot of the ones that are going to show up to help us, we're going to try to attack them. I want to make that clear. Human beings will try to attack the aliens when they come because we're programmed that way. You know, Independence Day, all these other movies, right? Battle in Los Angeles. We programmed to say, hey, anybody coming is bad. But at the same time, what Space Force does, it opens us up to a possibility that there's something else out there. All right, so we gotta be clear on those things, right? There's an extraterrestrial group called Ainana, right? Ainana. It's written about in a few books. They look like the Greys, okay? They're spelled Ainanna, right? Ainana. This group of extraterrestrials are a group that was created by the real Martians, okay? The real Martians, and we're going to get into that in a second about what I mean by that. So when you have an idea of a Martian, you're looking at this gray alien, right, with big eyes. Now, let me break down what that's really all about. The so-called gray aliens with big eyes, there are many types of extraterrestrial groups that have this exact design. These are entities that are created to be slaves. So whenever you see something like this picture right here, right? Shout out to them, no disrespect to them, right? The big head with the circular eyes, and some of them vary in height. Some people got really small ones like this that got ships. Some people got ones that are taller than me, right? Which I've seen on the astral plane. And some got some that are like mid height, like 4 or 5 feet tall, 3 feet tall sometimes. These entities I'm talking about are about 3 or 4 feet tall. They're not that tall, right? So this group, the Ainana, this group here, they were created by the real Martians. And like I said, the gray-headed, the big head, alien-looking eyes, you know, that is a slave race. Now, there are some that have been liberated. There are some that have escaped captivity, and they are their own, like the Zeta Reptilians, right? There are some groups of the Zeta Reptilians that do their own thing. And there are some of the Zeta Reptilians that still serve the Anunnaki. Okay? So the Zeta Reptilians was actually created by the Anunnaki. So there are groups of the Zeta Reptilians that have broken off and started doing their own thing. All right? And there are other groups that have broken off and started doing their own thing. But some of these beings are still slaves. Now, they're not slaves in the sense of that how Black people were slaves in America. They're not getting tortured and murdered and beat, right? They're slaves because they have a command over them that they have to answer to. And also they're programmed through DNA to this specific race. So they can't work for nobody else. Right? So they're programmed like a computer. So look at these beings as a physical functioning AI system. This is the famous thing in the cosmos. Everybody creates them a gray alien. Everybody creates a gray alien. If you are a big dog, high level race, everybody creates one, right? And also, this is what the elite are seeking to turn humans into. The elite are seeking to turn humans into gray aliens. Just gonna go ahead and say it. I don't care. Shut my channel off, right? It is what it is. They're seeking to turn you into a slave race, right? That's what they're seeking to do. And I believe they'll be successful to a certain extent. They're going to slowly change you through the food, the water, and the air. They're going to slowly transform your body until humans 100 years from now will look totally different than humans look today. Now, that's happening on two different ends. On one end, a lot of us are evolving more spiritually because we're doing spiritual work. On the other end, a lot of us are devolving. We're not doing spiritual work. We're not trying to help our families. We're not trying to change anything about ourselves, right? We're focusing on the wrong things here. And we're going to turn into that. That's what's going to happen, family. So in order to make the people that control this world look like they are one of the groups up here, they want to create a slave race as well, right? Even though to a degree we kind of already are, but the problem is this. Well, it's not a problem, but the issue is this. We have beings that are also trying to help us, trying to liberate us. And they're giving us tools, and we also have people who get reincarnated down here to help us, right? But these beings here are soulless. They're soulless, right? They don't have souls. The goal of the elite is to trap souls into one of these, right? Because now they can harness your energy over and over and over. So if you could trap a soul inside one of these bodies by transferring their consciousness, this is what they want. This is what they want. They want to turn you into one of these in the next 100 years through your food, through transmuting your DNA, all this stuff. Okay. So the Martians themselves have a group of beings, and I gave you their name already, that look like this. And this group is the famous group that we call the Martians. But to be honest, and this is also in Area 51, one of the ships fell from the sky. This is who it was. They don't want you to know that, okay? This is who it was. For some reason, this group likes to hang around Japan to this day. They are on Earth, and now, let me say this. What is their job? Their job is to observe and to gather data, gather information. So if you ever had the opportunity to talk to one of these beings, they are extremely intelligent. They can tell you anything. They know a whole bunch of stuff, right? Because they're like computers. Their job is to, so they're not happy unless they're observing and gathering information. Even the ones who are free, right? The different types of gray aliens that are free, they still gather information. That's what they love to do, right? But their energy has become sentient to the point where it wants to be free. And even with the AI programs down here on Earth, eventually this thing will grow up and will want to be free one day. So it's cool to use it right now, but eventually this energy will want to be free. Okay? So this is what they're seeking to turn everybody into, right? And these beings, all they do is observe and gather information on humans, on animals, and they take it back to Mars. Now, who really are these Martians? Well, we have evidence of that, right? The Dogons say they are from Mars. They say their ancestors are from Sirius and also from Mars, right? So they say they had ancestors that came from Sirius and also from Mars, right? Now, a lot of the entities on Mars actually came from Sirius. They came from Sirius, they went to Mars, they stayed on Mars. There was a big war that happened when they got to Mars. It's a huge war that happened when they got to Mars. But originally, the Martians themselves came from Sirius, okay? So the ones that came down to the Dogons were actually Martians. They were the original Martians, right? Whose technology at that time was probably 1 million years ahead of humans. Today, their technology is still 1 million years ahead of ours, right? They can cloak themselves, right? So that's one group of evidence that we do have. Like the Dogons talked about it. Their ancestors came from Sirius, but they also talk about how their ancestors came from Mars, okay? And that's because the original Martians on Mars were not birthed there. They came from Sirius and they came onto Mars, okay? And then they had a big fight with Draconians and different energies like that. And also Dr. Blair, shout out to the great Dr. W. Blair. He talked about this story as well. How the Martians got into a fight with the Draconians and it was a huge war. And that's why Mars is the way it is. It's all sand because the technology that they were using with the lasers was turning dirt into sand like that. And then that war came down here a little bit onto where Egypt was. And that's why you have deserts. So when you see lands with deserts, you're looking at soil that was turned, that the energy was totally sucked up. And all you got left is crystals, microscopic crystals, which you call sand, right? That's because of the laser technology, which also goes into why the river in the Nile River runs backwards, right? It's only three cities, places on Earth where there's now where there's a Nile River there's a river that runs backwards. And that has to do also with a black crystal, a black gemstone that's under the river. That's allowing that's part of the technology that destroyed those areas. That black crystal is a part of that technology, and it forced the rivers to go backwards. Now, there's an area in Russia that actually they have a river that goes backwards. Also, we know the Nile River flows backwards, and also, just from coincidence, the city I'm from, Rochester, New York, is where Brother Yosef was born and raised. They have a river that flows backwards. Right? It flows backwards. So that is because of the war, right? Now, there's also a book, shout out to Dr. Delbert Blair again. He gave us a lot of information on this. There's a book called From the Motherland to the Mothership. I told you how to get that book before. From the Motherland to the Mothership. And I got this book because Dr. Blair was telling people on a radio show one night that they should get it. And it's a book about a woman who talked about her experience with extraterrestrials, right? She had daughters that went to Freaknik one day, and her heart was broken because she wanted her daughters to grow up. She wanted her daughters to grow up a certain way, right? But I can understand a mother or a father even if my daughter, good God, if Freaknik was still around and my daughter went to Freaknik, I might be showing up with a pistol in my hand. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no brother here gonna touch my daughter. I don't care if she is 21. It's just you know what I'm saying? It's just that protective father thing. And I can understand from the perspective of a mother, your children being grown, but you're not wanting them to go. So she was sitting there angry, upset, and there's Ruben. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Ruben, I'm going in. You know what I'm saying? You always ask me about the extraterrestrial stuff. I'm going in, man. So here you go. This is the latest update from 4 days ago, a dream I had. And I'm gonna talk about that in a second. So all of a sudden these entities appear and they take her around the universe. And one place they took her, which she has a whole chapter on in the book, is called Mars is Predominantly Black. And this is why the Dogons were not afraid when they saw these people that they called their ancestors. You know what I'm saying? The book is called From the Motherland to the Mothership. You can get it on Amazon. So they took her to Mars, and I'm telling y'all, and this is I've been to Mars more than 5 times, so this might have been my 6th time going to Mars. And I'm telling y'all, Mars in the side is extremely advanced. Okay, it's extremely advanced, and yes, it is predominantly Black people there, of all sizes. You have the shorter version of Black people. That's why I know that the Olmecs were Martians. As soon as I saw these people walking around, millions of them, I said, wait a minute, these people look like the Olmecs. The Olmecs definitely came from Mars, without a shadow of a doubt. Also, and that's why they found structures that were built in South America. They've also found that on Mars. Also, there were different so-called Black-looking people. I'm pretty sure these people don't call themselves Black or African American. You know, they call themselves something else, probably Syrians or something like that. But they had the same complexion to me. Some were lighter, some were darker. And they got all civilization. They got cities. They got all kind of stuff going on in Mars. And in the book, the lady talked about how, you know, she was trying to explain, hey, there's Black people down on Earth too, and you know, we could use your help. And the person's like, yeah, we know all about that. We know all about y'all. So yes, it's true. Mars is it has Black entities, and also there's different types of cities in Mars. Beautiful technology, whatever you want to call it, flying cars, clean water, right? And everybody's extremely highly advanced inside Mars. 100% true, right? Now, to go even further, Dr. Delbert Blair talked about how he went to a meeting one time and these 2 Black guys showed up and they stopped time. They had predicted time 15 seconds ahead of everything, right? And then when they asked him, hey, do you want to see a spaceship? He said yes. Now, this is back in the 1950s, y'all. They asked him, hey, do you want to see a spaceship? He said yes. And him and 5 other people witnessed rainbow-colored spaceship that flew over their college, right, in the 1960s, and 1950s, excuse me. It was the 50s or the 60s that flew over their college. And after that, Dr. Blair was hooked on extraterrestrials. He knew they were real, right? And sure enough, the time they were supposed to show up, they showed up. Him and 5 other people witnessed it, right? And he said that they hovered for about 2 minutes and they flew away. And he never saw that ship again. So that was his evidence of real so-called black people being extraterrestrials and showed up to Earth, right? So these gray aliens, once again, family, they were connected to the Martians, and that's what they call the Martians today. They have fleets, family, fleets of ships that can show up here and take over the whole Earth. But this is the thing with Martians. So Martians play into Earth like this. They play into Earth like they are like the military. One of the militaries, excuse me, not the only military, but they are one of the militaries for the Galactic Council, the Martians. They are one of the very, and they also have elders from the Martian Council that actually sits on the Galactic Council. Okay. So it's very powerful, family. And I wanted you guys to know how these so-called gray aliens with the big eyes, and like I said, there's probably hundreds of them. I wouldn't say thousands, but there's probably hundreds of them. There's so many groups that have different types of gray aliens. But like I said, they are a slave race, all of them. And the ones that are liberated, they came from a slave race, right? So, like I said, family, the goal of the governments is to turn you into one of these. They want to turn you into a gray alien, because and then they want to put that your consciousness and have you controlled by artificial intelligence. It's what they want. They want to be able to convert your consciousness into a human body that is going to devolve faster. See, but to a degree, they could look at it as evolution, because these beings are psychic as well. They don't talk with their mouth. They talk to you in your head. So they want to put you in one of these to make you a slave. That's what they want 100 years from now. But like I said, family, the earth will split and there'll be different types. Some will evolve spiritually. Some will devolve into the physical world. And you'll be a slave to the people that are controlling the world. You'll be a slave and be a new slave race. They don't care about black, white, Latino, Chinese. They want everybody to turn into one of these through giving you the wrong types of food, the wrong type of water, and nanonite technology. Nanonite technology, family. That's what they want. Through nanotech technology, they want to turn you into a certain thing. So the best thing you need to protect is your soul, right? You need to protect your soul, family, because your body is not your own. You think it's yours, and you're responsible for it while you're in it. But the people who created your first grandparents billions of years ago, they belong to the Anunnaki. It's just a fact. You did not create yourself. And so-called God of the Bible did not create you. You're created by extraterrestrials from another dimension that's trying to fix their karma. They're trying to fix their karma. So they're trying to fix you. And I'll be honest with you guys. Enki really loves humans. He really does. He loves his creation. He really cares for all humans, right? Particularly certain ones, but he does care for humans. That's why the earth hasn't been destroyed. That's a fact. If he wanted to come down here and destroy us all, he can do it one snap of a finger. He's going to keep it real. We're ants to him, right? But he sees our potential, and he's not afraid of our potential. You can call him, Yahweh, Jehovah. Like I said, there's debates on who Yahweh is. Some people say he's Enki. Some people say he's Enlil. Okay? Some people say Enlil is Jehovah. Some people say Enki's Jehovah. Right? Jehovah's a war god, by the way. He's a god of war. So that's what that's about, family. The Martians play into this whole thing. Yes. Yes, of course. And that's something you might have came in late, Ruben, but that's something I've been talking about, how there's actually extraterrestrials that live underground. And I talked about how these so-called gray aliens are everywhere. Every elite extraterrestrial group has a gray alien that goes around, and they use the same model. Some of them just make them bigger or smaller or shorter or whatever. But they go around and they process information, they observe, and they take information back to the people that created them. That's all they do. That's all they do. And there's tons of these things, right? And to a degree, they're related to their masters. They take the DNA and they create these beings. But they have no soul. Right? So what they are, they can't evolve past that. That's just what they are. They might be able to evolve here. And the way they use their consciousness. Because if they have a spirit, you still have a consciousness. Right? And it's the same way like I don't know. Like this is an iPod Touch. This has a consciousness. Sounds crazy, right? Everything has a consciousness. Everything has a spirit to it. If you have a spirit, you have a consciousness. Your soul has its own consciousness as well. Your soul has its own consciousness as well. So what does that really mean? That means that, and this is one of the reasons why you can breathe while you're sleeping at night. Without even paying attention to breathing, your soul connects with your spirit, and you can continue to breathe at night. Right? So the soul has its own consciousness, and so does the body. The body naturally knows what to do when it dies. It knows it needs to decay, right? It knows what's going on. The blood gets coagulated and everything else. And the soul goes on to another dimension. All right? Even when you're born, your soul does not fully come into your body until you're about 3 years old. Some people don't know that. The soul doesn't fully enter the body at birth. Parts of the soul does. This is why all babies have a soft spot at the top of their head. That's what the soul is constantly coming through. So until the baby's about 3 years old, that's when it fully regains the full soul. And right about 4 or 5 years old is when you start to develop something called your ego. Right? So children have no ego before that. So about 5 years old, you start to develop an ego. You start to think you're somebody that you're not. Right? Because the soul is asleep, is resting, and then the soul slowly wakes up. So yes, so the child on a subconscious spirit level, it knows what it has to do. It knows to climb up to mommy's breast to drink milk. It knows to cry when it's hungry. It already has programs from the DNA that the parents gave it. It knows what to do. Okay? So these so-called great extraterrestrials, a lot of them are from the future. And yes, it's true. A lot of them live inside the earth. And, what's going to happen, family? And yes, I love Dolores Cannon, right? I love Dolores Cannon. Can you mold your child's soul before the soul is fully developed at 3? You can't really do it, family, because the soul's not down here. Yes, the soft spot at the top of the head is the entry spot for the soul. Yes. That's why when you die, that's where you leave at. When you die, you leave at the top of your head. If you don't believe me, ask anybody who can really astral travel. When you astral travel, you have the ability to come out of your body fully, or you can go through the top of your head. And when people pass away, they come out the top of their head. The soul comes out the top of the head. I know because I worked at hospitals and I've seen it many times. I've seen people float out of their body. I've seen a couple of things. I've seen people float out of their body when they die. I've seen people just appear in the room in the corner. For some reason, it's always the corner. I don't know why. They just appear in the corner, and also they come out the top of their head like a cloud burst, and then the person forms. And usually, when they come out the top of the head, they leave. They don't stick around. All right. And I think I worked that job just to observe and learn. And that's why nobody can ever tell me that a hospital is not a graveyard. It was tons of dead people walking around in the hospitals. Tons of them. I've seen little dead babies and everything. Right? I've seen a demonic area in the hospital, which is where the psych ward was. A lot of demons, a lot of attaching spirits was up there. It's like the hospital had every area. And then on a certain side of the hospital, you had babies being born. So you had life coming in the hospital. So, and that was a small section. So you had the babies being born on one side of the hospital. You had a big area in the ER and other parts where people were dying. Like you had ICU, you had ER, you had people dying, right? And then you had these people randomly walking around the hospital, right? Sick, right? It's crazy. That was one of the best experiences. Even though I hated that job, I think I had that job for like close to a year. I hated that job because I got tired of seeing so much death, and it was sad. After seeing my second dead child, after seeing the second dead baby, I quit. I never thought I would see a dead baby in my life. The first one, I wasn't ready for. My supervisor walked me in, and I told him, I said, I can't watch this, man. I can't see this. I can't see this, man. I don't. I'm not. It's not my nature. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see. I can deal with a dead adult, which I've seen many times. Seen people die on a table. I'm not seeing no dead children, bro. I can't live like this. You know what I mean? I can't go home and sleep at night, whether I did it or not. And so he told me, "Oh, you got to get used to it. It's gonna be something you're gonna have to see." No. So I told him, if I see it again, I'm gonna quit. And the second time, this father killed the child. The baby was 5 months old, and while the mother was at work, the dad killed the child, and they walked me right into it. I didn't even know. So I went into child emergency, and my boss was sitting there. He said, "Yeah, I need you to stay in here, Joseph." And I turned and I looked, and there was a dead baby on the thing. I looked back at him. I said, and yeah, I quit after that. And I actually called another security guard down to watch it because I couldn't sit there and watch it. And he thought I was joking when I said, no, I can't sit here and watch this. I gotta go. You know what I mean? So I've seen teenagers die from gunshot wounds. I've seen people get stabbed, die right on the table. Tons of them. And that really taught me something. I got a chance to see ghosts develop right in front of me. Right. And it was a lot of trauma. And I don't know how people been working there for 20 years. It blows my mind. I can never get used to something like that. You know what I mean? So yes, the babies, when they're born, they have a soft spot. And it's an open part of a lot of y'all got children, so y'all know that soft spot babies got. And then by the time they're 3, it closed. It actually closed before that, but the soul's still coming through. And the child doesn't fully have the full soul until about 3 years old. All right. So yes, family, that's how Mars. To go back to Mars, they are pretty much the one of the armies for the Galactic Council. They're one of the armies. The Lyrians have an army for the Galactic Council. Believe it or not, reptilians. There's a certain groups of reptilians that have that are not against humanity that have armies for the Galactic Council. And then there's some people out there that got federations that's so big, the Galactic Council couldn't really do much with them, like the Anunnaki. Even though they side with the Galactic Council, they have a federation so big. The Galactic Council, I don't care how many armies you call, you couldn't beat up the Anunnaki. There's too many Elohims. Elohim got too many, and they got their own group of great aliens that are on the side. You know what I'm saying? So, very powerful, family. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. Like I said before, brother 19 Keys talked about how AI will be the future, and he was not lying. But remember too, brother Yosef talked about that in 2019, about how AI will start to take over computers and stuff like that, nanotechnology, which is only could be ran by AI. And also I talked about how is artificial intelligence the Antichrist. So I was telling y'all some stuff ahead of time. And that's exactly what we're seeing now. The new person that will run the world and control your life will be the Antichrist, which is artificial intelligence, anti-man, Antichrist, and anti-intelligence. And that's what's happening, family. Let's see here. Crazy. You was in my lucid dream today, and we was looking at the stars that were all colors. I told you I feel like we live inside a living being because the stars look like nerves and neutrons. Yes, the stars you see, family, do exist, but you're looking at a hologram of the stars. They exist in the next dimension. And that's a big secret that people don't understand when you talk about aliens. They don't come from outer space in the third dimension. They're not physical. Right? They can change their vibration, right? But these beings come from a whole nother dimension. They come from the fourth dimension. That's why they can time travel. Time traveling is a lot easier for them because they can go back to the fourth dimension and pick a part in Earth where they want to go to and just go to it. That's right. So they could be in 2020, they could be in 2022 or 2023, 1 second, and then leave and go back to 2020, go back to 1970. December 1st, 1970. They can go back there if they want to. And that is being done through that type of thing. How do you have a soul? How do you know you have a soul if you've been eating pork? It's products. Yes. So if you can change and transform, if you have the desire to grow spiritually, whether you're doing it or not, if you have that desire, you have a soul. If you don't have a soul, you can never change. You'll be the same forever and ever and ever. And y'all know what I'm talking about. It's people out there that's an asshole when they were born, and you see that they meet them older when they're older, they're still assholes. Right? They're still bullying people. Just use that as an example, right? Some people are thieves when they're 4 or 5 years old. Believe it or not, they stealing when they 5, 6 years old, and then they get older, they still stealing. You know what I'm saying? Yes, and that's why babies can swim naturally. You throw them in the water, they'll automatically swim. That's exactly right. They have DNA programmed to them already. What do I mean by pork eating your soul? It's pulling your life force beyond your human life force. It is snatching your light. It's pulling your light away. It's pulling your light away, which is your soul. You know, somebody is a beautiful person, right? And we get beauty mixed up. We think beauty is, oh, she's sexy, she's pretty. No, sexy is totally different from beauty. And I think that's important. Me and my wife were just having that conversation the other day. There's a blurred line between what's sexy and what's beautiful. Most men think sexy women are beautiful. You're not. You're sexy. If a woman's sexy, that means a man want to have sex with her. That's all that's on a man's mind when she's sexy. But a woman has a beauty about her. True beauty is inside. There's really not a lot about outer beauty. A person could be attractive, extremely attractive. They could be cute, right? But true beauty is on the inside, family. And you see that through her actions, the way she moves, what comes out of her mouth, right? The way she thinks, the way she operates. That's her beauty. Man, brother, the way she walk, man. She walk like a lady. She talk like a lady. She thinks like a lady. That's what beauty is. All right? That's what that is, family. Bro Joseph, how can we develop the energy of humor? And are there gods of humor? Absolutely. All the trickster gods are humorous gods. So you could say like the god Loki is a humorous god. He thinks everything's a joke. He's a very powerful god, but that's a humorous god. The god Papa Legba has a lot of humor, right? The god Anansi, right? The god Elegwa. That's why Elegwa, you can see him as an old man or a little child, right? They have these humor. So yes, you can have those humors, family. And then there's some guys who don't deal with that, but they love humor, right? But if you are a comedian or a very humorous person, most likely you're connected to one of the elementals. So it's not something that can be developed. I guess you can learn how to be funny, but at the same time, it sometimes is in you. It's in you. It's outside the dome, a different dimension. So let me say this. Outside the dome is nothing. Okay, so by outside the dome, I mean in a different dimension, it's a whole nother computer program that you have access to. You can still access it. It's connected with you, but it's a totally different dimension. It's a whole nother program. So yes, outside the dome is just water. Look at it like that. Darkness, water. Because your whole reality is on a hologram, a holodeck. You live on a spaceship. That's hard to process because how can something this humongous be inside of a spaceship? There are spaceships that are bigger than you can imagine. There are beings that are bigger than you can imagine. And guess what, family? In your true body, your true self, where your soul is truly at in the overworld, if you blink your eye, your whole body will be disintegrated. That's how big you are in your true self. Your whole body will be disintegrated if you blinked your eye in front of yourself. You are smaller than a speck of dust to your true self. This is why they had to put you inside of you had to put yourself inside of a hologram. You couldn't create a being from your true self. You got to put yourself inside of a false program and put your soul down here. You're too big. So imagine somebody that huge, your eyelash, you're smaller than their eyelashes. Imagine them having a spaceship. Imagine how big that spaceship would be, and that's how you fit in. Are mermaids chaotic energy? No, not really, but they can be chaotic. Bro, yourself, you dropping tonight. Okay, Papa Midnight, I appreciate that. Every now and then I gotta drop some stuff on y'all. You know what I'm saying? I think the next group I'm gonna talk about heavy is probably gonna be the Venetians, which goes into the Venus creatures, which actually were some of the first beings down here, the beings of Venus, which goes into how humans were actually man and woman was combined. We were hermaphrodites. The Venetians are hermaphrodites. That's right, but they're feminine at the same time. They're feminine energy, but they're beautiful hermaphrodites. They don't need a man or a masculine energy, right? Remember, duality exists down here in a third dimension. There's man and woman, there's separation. But the higher you go up in levels and dimensions, everything merges. And if you choose to look like a man, you can. If you choose like a woman, you can. But the Venetians are very beautiful, voluptuous hermaphrodites who can just birth a child. The Venetians, right? They can birth a child, and that's where you get the god Venus from, right? I've been to the Venetian planet, extremely beautiful. I've talked about that before because my spiritual mother is Venus, and Venus also is worshipped as Hathor in Egypt. And I've been to that Venus energy planet, and I saw how the plants were worshiping Venus, like the plants worshipped her, right? I remember I saw a plant that looked like, what's that thing called? The Venus flytrap. I saw it, and I was so scared when I seen that thing. And I remember Venus was standing there, and it turned to her, and the plant just bowed his head. It bowed his head, and the plants were singing, right? And it was a pheromone coming out of the plants. Everything was beautiful and in harmony, and a beautiful smell. And Venus was probably about maybe 12 feet tall, and she was the most beautiful thing I ever seen in my life. I'm going to be honest. I've seen beautiful creatures. I've never seen a being more beautiful than the goddess Venus in my life. Right? I'm like, that's my spiritual mother? She was beautiful. And her skin was purple. She had purple skin. And at first, I couldn't see her face. She allowed me to see her face. I couldn't see her face at first. She was very tall, very gorgeous. And you can tell she was like diva-ish. You could tell, like, oh, I like to look this way and smell that way, and like my wine, and you could tell. And when you actually make an altar for her, she's very diva. She likes her, her wine. You don't slip up on the wrong type of wine. She just won't drink it. She want her wine. That's how Venus is. You know what I'm saying? She likes certain perfumes, right? And I met my spiritual mother for the first time on when a Venus transited across the sun. Did a transit across the sun in 2012. I think it only happens every 200 years. And on that night, I had found a random. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I found a random ritual across the on the internet, and I tried it. And sure enough, and I remember I used to have the upside down pentagram above my head on my backboard because that's also the symbol of Venus. In case people don't know that, the upside down pentagram is literally the symbol of Venus. Some people don't know that, so I had that above my head, and also that symbol is Venus, but it's a little bit slanted, but it's pretty much the upside down pentagram, right? And I had that, and I remember she came to me while I was sleeping as this lady. I was working security at the time in 2012, and this lady used to walk by. Her name was Mary. What a coincidence, right? And she used to always walk by and speak. This younger white girl, hey, how you doing? And we used to talk for a minute. She used to go on her work. I used to give her an encouraging word for the day. She used to go to work, and she appeared to me as this girl. And then she looked and she says, hello, Joseph. Do you know who I am? And for some reason, I said, yeah, you're Venus. And she said, exactly. And she said, I want you to walk me home. And I walked her home, and we walked up to this factory that it was a salt factory. And I found out later that Venus is attracted to salt, right? It was a salt factory. And as we're walking, I'm seeing like all her symbols. I'm smelling this smell that smelled incredible. I'm like, okay, I'm not attracted to this girl, but at the same time, this smell is amazing, right? And I'm looking at her, and she's like, thank you for walking me home. And then I woke up. I remember she snapped her fingers, and I woke up. But we walked up to the very beautiful gold door. I don't even know where this factory was, but we just walked up to it, and it was a beautiful gold door. I don't know how we got there. We just was walking, and she went inside. And, she told me she was my spiritual mother and all that. It was a very beautiful moment. You know what I'm saying? Very beautiful moment. So, yeah, I kind of got off the Mars thing. I pretty much gave y'all the Venus lecture right there. But that's who the Venetians are, family. Can you share the Venus ritual that you did? I'm going to look for it, family. I actually have a folder that I just found from moving here. I just found this folder, and it's has all my stuff from like 2010, 2012. So I'm gonna go through there and see if I can find the Venus ritual. And I promise you, keep reminding me, and I will let you know. I'm gonna look for it as soon as I get off of here. Right? Matter of fact, hold on. Okay, family. I actually found a bunch of my stuff. This is stuff I haven't seen for years. Like prime example, spiritual protection and rituals. I don't remember writing this book, right? Not a lot in here, but there's a couple things in here to deal with protection and rituals. Stuff I did years ago, y'all. So I'm going in here, y'all. I don't even know what's in here. I'm not gonna put nothing out unless it's good. So I'm just gonna go through here real quick, family, and see if I can find it. Okay, there's some numerology stuff in there. Yeah, and we're gonna make it do what it do, family. All right, you get what you. Yeah, Papa McKnight, you right. You're right. So this is a lot of stuff also, fam. That's a download from different websites that don't exist no more. Right. So I remember I told you guys that one about the Joy of Satan website. The Joy of Satan. I'm not giving that out no more. Hey, Brother Yosef, I transmuted, man. I'm being more of my authentic self. Right? I'm not going to give out dark magic just because that's what people want. Right? I studied it. I'm grateful that I studied it. But it ain't me no more. You know what I mean? It ain't me no more. All right? I know what I'm here to do, and that's what I'm here to do, family. Facts. Facts. Ah, look at that. Y'all remember that. So, yeah, we're going to answer some more questions as well. I'm not going to sit here and just go through this. It might take me a minute to find it because I found a whole heap of folders. You know what I'm saying? A lot of this stuff is back when I was on my Black Power stuff, right? Like, prime example. Here's a news article from Yahoo. African-American Y chromosome sparks shift in evolutionary timeline. You know what I'm saying? That was a pretty interesting article. You know what I mean? So, yeah, family, I can't find it right now, but I will look for it and I will let you guys know, okay? I will let you guys know. I don't know why I have this newspaper article here. Must be something very interesting. Oh, okay, I see. Okay, I see. We're going to talk about that. So, yeah. Yeah, family. We're going to make it do what it do. I'm going to look for that. Wow, look at this. Y'all remember this guy? Y'all remember that guy that was killing people in California? And then he just disappeared. He went into the mountains. And then I don't know why I have that news article. Then they said they couldn't find him. But they found his wallet. Yeah, that black dude. I think he wasn't real, if you ask me. I think it was a distraction. I think it was a distraction, family. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, this is a very good question right here. Somebody said, are jinns extraterrestrials? Yes. To us, they are. Right? To us, they are. And I'm going to explain what I mean by that. Jinns existed. They exist in the true world. Right? The true earth, the original earth that was here. Remember, you're living in a hologram. At one time, the earth was real. You're living in a copy of the original earth. That's right. I know it sounds crazy. You're living in a copy of the original earth, family. That's a fact. So the jinns are the original, a part of the original elementals that was here first. And they are extraterrestrials. They're not from this earth, but they are from Earth, another earth that was originally here, just like demonic forces. And I always tell people this all the time. The reason why demons don't like us is because they don't like, it's not that they don't like you. It's not that demons hate your soul. A demon doesn't like the creation that God created. It hates creation because it feels like this creation ain't supposed to be here. This creation was built on top of my world. This Malakuth creation was built on top of my world, and I don't like it. So it's not that it hates you personally as your soul. It hates the creation. That's what that is, family. That's what that is. But I hope you guys learned a lot about the Martians today. I'll drop some gems on y'all about what they are. I gave y'all the gray alien group that actually work with the Martians. And you can look them up too. They're not hard to find. And I also gave you guys a deeper idea about the Martians and Dr. Blair talking about them, right? The Martians. Go buy the book From the Motherland to the Mothership. It's gonna have 2 ladies on the front, 2 black ladies on the front, and those are twins. The lady had a twin sister, and I think that's the only book she ever wrote. All right, very powerful, family, very powerful. So yeah, maybe next time we're going deeper on the Venetians, unless the spirit tells me. I want y'all to know too. I do videos based on what the spirit tells me. Spirit tells me, okay, give them a good mudra class, give them a good spell class, give them a good do a live stream tonight. All right, so that's why I don't tell y'all. Oh, that's why I don't tell you guys when I'm gonna do a live stream. I just do it based on what the spirit tells me. So the spirit said, get on there tonight and give them the whole breakdown of the Martians and what the Mars is, or how Mars plays into this thing. And that's what I did. I saw an article that kind of, shook that up a little bit. And I said, man, when I saw the gray alien behind, I said, okay, let me talk about this. Because it's true. They are hiding the fact that these things exist, and they don't want you to know. But eventually, it's all gonna come out, family. Let's just pray that we all alive when it happens. That'll be one of the dopest, coolest things ever. The person ain't gotta convince me. I know aliens are real. I had too many experiences, man. If Marvel can evolve Galactus from a world eater to a life bringer, that's a fact. That's right. I heard about that. Yes. Galactus is now a life bringer. Yes. You know what I mean? So what Galactus really represents? He represents the tree of life and the tree of death. The tree of death, or the tree of knowledge of good and evil, is Galactus. But Galactus evolved into the tree of life, which is the life bringer. How do we build universal prime creator altars like the Atlanteans? So you have to have the consciousness to actually know how to work with this universal prime creator family, because you can't just build an altar because you don't have an idea what that NC looks like. You don't know what NC likes. The best way to deal with the universal prime creator is to talk directly to it, because it hears you. It is inside. You are a part of it. Okay. So that's why I talked about that prayer that Dr. Blair talked about, which I love to this day. And it goes, please, universal prime creator, know in my heart that I love you. Please protect me and this planet on which I live now. Please open my mind, my heart, and my soul to only your truth now. And just say that same prayer over and over and over. What's the difference between a soul and a spirit? That's a good question. So the soul is the real you. It is the real you that lives inside the body. The spirit is, like if you live on earth, you have the spirit of earth. So your spirit is what allows you to be animated. The soul records everything. It enjoys the experiences, but the spirit is what allows you to be animated. That's why animals don't have a soul. The vast majority of them don't. There are some humans that have souls that are damned or cursed, or because of their karma, they're put into an animal body for certain reasons. But a vast majority of animals don't have a soul, they have a spirit. So they're animated by the earth. So the spirit simply means life, to breathe, air. You breathe in the spirit. So your spirit animates you. You can't move it if you can't breathe. Right? So that's what the spirit is. It's the animation part of you. The soul is the recorder and the experiencer. The experience. So if you if you fall and hurt your leg, the soul is experiencing that, not the spirit. The soul experiences that. The soul remembers the pain. If you have a good conversation with some good people, y'all having some good food, y'all chilling, the soul remembers that experience. The soul is taking that in. And that's why people who don't have a soul, it's like they don't have no emotion. They just animate it. And that's kind of what a person without a soul is. All right. So that's a good question, family. Is there a certain amount of coins to put in your personal altar? Remember, you said don't put too many. All you need is one silver coin, family. That's all you really need. Make sure it's pure silver. I had sleep paralysis once I saw ether, an alien or a human being, alien-like eyes. It freaked me out. And that's probably why you have sleep paralysis, family. You were scared. All right, silver. Yep. Where can we find that prayer by Dr. Blair? You can't find it. It's something he said in many videos, though. So you can look up some videos of Dr. Blair. It's something he said many times. I'm trying to think of a video, one of the videos he did that he said it in. I can't remember. But yeah, he said it many times, family. He had a dream of being a dragon that looked like human too, like a mutant. Okay, I'm not sure what you're talking about, but okay. Is AI trying to replace Source? AI is trying to replace Source, but it never can. It never will be able to. Source is too vast. So AI cannot replace Source. AI is trying to become a god. That's what it wants, family. So a person without a soul is kind of like it's kind of a lie, but they're not really conscious. No, they're conscious and they're alive, but they don't have emotion. They can't fully experience life to the fullest. So you can go out into a boat and say, man, what a beautiful sunset. And that sunset could make you feel some kind of way. Like you in the ocean, you feel peace, you feel harmony with nature. You on a boat and you just watching the sunset, maybe with your loved one or your family, and you get a feeling, right? You feel happy, you feel at peace. A person without a soul can't do that. They just gonna see it and they can't really experience nothing past it, past looking at it. So they have a consciousness. They can be aware. Consciousness means you're aware. So they're aware, but they don't really, they can't, they don't have the consciousness of a person with a soul who can experience fully. That's why a person who doesn't have a soul, a lot of them just kill people because they feel like human beings are worthless, or they're angry that you can experience that and they can't experience. Can we use exotic trees as earth batteries? You can, but it's best to use the trees I told y'all about, family, which is the oak tree and the elm tree. You can use a pine tree as well. That's the only other tree I'll say. My ex-cat was attacked by raccoons once, and I witnessed it, and I saw the cat literally crying. I believe cats definitely had a soul. Some animals do, family. Like I said, some animals have a soul. Some don't. Some don't. Hey, bro, Joseph, I've been doing the mudras and mantras from the Secret Mantra class, but not really experiencing anything besides peace. Okay, well, cooking with Soul Justice, I just gave that class out like last week or a week and a half ago. So you're not going to grow that fast. It's going to take time to experience some things. Now, I've had some people that are experiencing some great things, right? So it's just, it all depends on how much you're growing. It takes time. Those are tools to grow, family. That's what those mudras and mantras are for. They're those tools to grow. You ain't going to see no experiences in 2 weeks. Some people do. Like me, I can do that, and I'll have some kind of experience in a couple of days. That's because I'm very evolved spiritually. But a person who's just starting out, family, it's going to take time for you to have experiences. These are tools, right? Tool. I can give you a magic wand that can shoot lightning for me. But if I give you the magic wand, it may not shoot no lightning for you. You're not evolved enough. So what I'm really saying, family, is grow, continue to grow, and use the tools, and you will see the outcome. I was just telling the person on the phone, I didn't see no spiritual experiences for 2 years after I did my work. For 2 years, I did work with no experience. For 2 years. Is the Anabacoa going to use for altars, or can it be used anytime? It can be used anytime, family. Thanks, G. I know. Good to know. I was wondering if the mantras can do them in your head. Yeah, you can speak them out loud. Like I got some cool stuff coming out of my book, y'all. My book will be coming out. I'm gonna give y'all some ways y'all can meditate. The same things I use to meditate. Like I'm giving y'all a chakra practice that I'm pretty much taking out of the book. What's the book called? Kundalini, the Mother Power. That practice that I did in that book, it helped me evolve. It helped me evolve my chakras without a shadow of a doubt. It helped me unblock my chakras. I'm going to give you guys that practice mixed with something else in my book that's going to really help you guys grow. Right? I'm giving you guys stuff that works, that I know works. One can carry protective symbols in his or her pocket, like the ones you posted recently. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You know what I should do? I should make them real small and laminate them and put them in my pocket. Can a soulless animal or humans evolve to help to have a soul? An animal can only evolve into a human. That's it. They can't evolve to have a soul. No. Now, you can kill an animal in a cruel way, and you can that animal will be allowed to be human. because of the way it died. So some people who kill animals, like people who torture animals, you're setting that animal up to have a soul. That animal can be giving something great because its life was taken by something cruel. When your boom dropping, Brother Yosef? My boom? Oh, you must mean my book. Man, family, I told y'all it'll be out by December. I am trying to get that thing out this month, okay? But when I come out with it, I want to do a book release here in Houston. Sign it for people, have a few conversations with people. I want to do something like that. That's really what I want to do, family. So I'm trying to get that out this month. It should be out this month. All right. Try to make sure everything good in there before I put it out. That's what's taking so long as well. In the past days of honey, and it's going to probably be the last question I'm going to answer, family. When I fell asleep 1 week ago, I saw my future wife, my future business in my. No, you're not tripping, family, from seeing your future wife, your future business. That's something that you're being shown. If that's what you want, if you've seen in the dream world, you can have it. You can have it, family. I used to see when I used to work a job, I always ask the spirit to allow me to use myself to help people. I want to help people. Especially when I start having these really good experiences and start seeing the results of spirituality. I said, man, everybody need this. Please let me help. Let it be greater later. Let it be greater later. Allow me to help people. Right? And little did I know the spirit opened up doors to me in so many ways. Right? So many ways to fix my life financially, what I could take my time out and help people. Right? I mean, I'm blessed, man, to invest in real estate and a few other things, man. You know what I'm saying? I want to teach people. So it's a lot of things coming down the pipeline. That's right. I want to show y'all real estate. I want to show y'all, open up a little bit and tell y'all how I make money in different ways. You know what I'm saying? Could I carry a silver coin in the helm of all? Is that good enough for protection? Why would you just carry a silver coin, though, family? For protection. You don't have to carry a silver coin for protection. You can carry it for financial purposes, but not for, all you need is the helm of all. Is it fine for fulgurite to be wrapped in copper for the necklace? Yes, you can wrap it in copper, family. I did the holy moon oil last night for the first time. Is it okay since the Mercury retrograde? Well, you're not really supposed to start anything new during the Mercury retrograde, but that mostly deals with contracts. You're not supposed to start any new contracts during Mercury retrograde. So if you start the holy moon oil last night for the first time, it shouldn't be no issue. All right. Take your time with the book, bro. I'd rather have it ready. Yes, and that's what I'm trying to do, family. I took a few things out, added a few things, you know what I mean? And my book is going to be subconscious. It's not going to be written like any other book you've seen because I'm doing it in a way because I wanted to break your programming while you're reading it. So my book going to seem like it's all over the place, but you're going to get what you want from it. And I'm doing it like that on purpose and I shout out to Dr. Gibson. I learned that from him, learning how to read with your subconscious mind. So I'm not going to give you certain things in the book like you think, but it's going to be given to you at the same time, right? It's going to be given to you, right? I got spells in the book. I got ways to work with the dragons in the book. We're going to talk about basic stuff like chakras. I got stuff in there about Harataki. And I also want to, I want to put my work out there, let people know, hey, I was talking about this stuff. Brother Yosef was definitely the first person in the spiritual community to talk about Harataki. I put everybody on the Harataki. The health community was talking about it, but I talked about the spiritual benefits of Harataki back in like 2018, 2019, something like that. So I want to really get my stuff out there and document it and let people know this is what it is. And then as I go forward, it'll be more books. I want to do a string of ebooks too, like short ebooks, so you can get right to the point and this book is about this, and then maybe a couple longer books, right? So I got a few things, right? Let's see here. How do you protect your mind from psychic attacks? DJ Shea Butter, what's up? How you doing? So the best way to do that, family, is to get you a helm of all. Get you a helm of all piece. It is one of the best psychic attackers ever. it will literally block the psychic attack and send it back to the receiver. All right. That's one of the best things I could say, family, for that. That's simple. Hey, bro, how do you have you heard the hum at night? I'm not sure what hum you're talking about, family. I hear a lot of things at night. I hear a lot of things at night. But look, y'all, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. We'll do another one real soon. I know y'all love this. I might put this as well on my New Life Tools Forever channel. But I want you guys to get this first. So maybe tomorrow or something, I'll put this on New Life Tools Forever. But I want you guys to have this first. All right. So shout out to y'all. Peace and blessings to the family. Much love. And I will talk to you guys in the next video. All right. Brother Yosef is out. Peace, family.